the very bottom of page number 9. So the Truth in Lending Act does not require that this thing get signed anywhere. Your forms vendors are the ones that add the signature lines, and I believe the model forms have some as well. And so there's 3 potential different places on the right of rescission notice where there's a signature line. There's the very top, I wish to cancel. I want to exercise my right to rescind. Okay, that's the first one you see at the very top there, the first red circle. The one just below that, receipt, that's acknowledging receipt of the right of rescission notice. And then the one at the very bottom is the confirmation that I do not want to rescind, and 3 days have since passed. We need to be very careful with these signatures. Let's talk through them a little closer here. Obviously, if somebody wants to rescind, later on we're going to talk about that, and that is required to be in writing. So if they're going to rescind the I wish to cancel, you need to get in writing. The receipt, a receipt of the rescission notice. I highly recommend when you go to loan consummation and you provide all the disclosures. Okay, we're going to talk about material disclosures here in just a little bit. One of the material disclosures happens to be this document. I would make certain that they sign receipt showing that they received the right of rescission notice. So the first 2, they're absolute. You should get signatures there. You have to if they're going to cancel it. And the second one is optional. I would get something showing evidence of receipt. The third one, confirmation. If you read the very bottom of this rescission notice, or if you go and look at some of the models, what that is all about is that 3 days have passed since consummation and that they do not wish to rescind. They're signing saying, no, let's go through with this. That's not required by any regulation. And that's an area that gets bankers, it gets third parties like attorneys and title companies and settlement agents and ultimately the bank in trouble, because what ends up happening is this. I show up today at a loan closing. You slide across the desk this rescission notice. Now, I'm certainly not going to cancel today, so we don't worry about that first line. The second line, receipt, you're going to have me sign that. And I'm going to give my signature so that you can acknowledge that it's been provided. And then what some have done in the past, okay, imagine your closing agent, your attorney, your title company, whoever. You know what, Jared, we can save you some time. If you're really not thinking you're going to rescind, rather than drive back, on the 3rd day after we close, I can save you a trip. You just sign this today. And if you do want to rescind, we'll just make it like this never happened. But why don't you sign this today? Then you don't have to come back into the bank. Do not do that. At the very end of our presentation today, I'm going to share with you actual live court cases that have gotten lenders and title companies and attorneys and banks in general in trouble. And it's a very common issue, and it's not hard to prove. Do not have them sign the confirmation early. If you choose to have them sign the confirmation that they do not want to rescind, okay, make sure it's after the 3 days have passed, because that's what they're saying. You can't take people's rights away from them by having them sign something earlier, even if you're trying to save them a trip to the bank. It's a bad idea. More on that later.